Coming up on Cronkite News, we'll tell you about two bills Governor Doug Ducey signed and what they mean for trans youth.
Also, a new Veteran Affairs medical clinic opens in downtown Phoenix. We'll show you how veterans are responding.
Plus, an introduction to the new Smithsonian Museum that recognizes the accomplishments and history of the Latino communities.
Kite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Ethan Ryder.
And I'm Ashley Stevens. Thank you for joining us. Earlier this year, Governor Doug Ducey signed two bills impacting transgender youth. These bills will go into effect within 3 to 9 months. Reporter Valeria Rodriguez takes a look at the impact these laws may have on the mental health of transgender youth.
A lot of them are very depressed, not because they're transgendered. That in itself doesn't depress them. It's how they're treated because they are transgendered.
Many transgender youth feel targeted after Governor Doug Ducey signed two bills earlier this year. SB 1138 prohibits minors from receiving gender transition procedures, and SB 1165 prohibits transgender athletes from competing in high school sports.
We are going to see some negative effects to this because we know that, we know that depression and anxiety and engaging in self-harm, which includes suicide attempts, are higher. And these LGBTQ youth.
About 1.5% of the 13 to 17-year-old population in Arizona identify as transgender. Psychologist Christine Grubb works with transgender youth and says the new laws will have an impact.
The area I've always focused on most was trying to get my clients who happen to be trans to value themselves.
Something that's difficult when you're being excluded.
But it is not something that they choose to do. Who would make a choice to be rejected by most of the people in society? Nobody.
Are definitely at more risk for these just because of not having the gender affirming care that they need and not being able to belong or be a part of sports.
People who work with transgender youth say they need support. And for transgender teacher Sadie Redford, that means being an example.
Like the most important thing, and it's always been top of my list, is to be visible for these kids. Just there she is. Oh my God, if she can do it, I can do it. It's just to be there for them.
In Phoenix, Valeria Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
Arizona isn't the only state that has passed laws targeting trans youth in recent years, but in early June, President Biden signed an executive order aimed at curbing discrimination against trans youth.
Some 40,000 veterans will be able to get treated at a new Veterans Affairs clinic in Phoenix. Our reporter Julio Mora Rodriguez spoke with veterans who say the new clinic is just what they need.
A newly christened clinic for veterans close to downtown Phoenix is a step in the right direction, according to veteran David Lucier.
You know, we have been on an improvement trajectory for 6-7 years now, and I would say that the VA is at the top of their game right now.
The Phoenix VA system treats more than 120,000 veterans in central Arizona. For years, the main complaint about the VA system was the wait times. Currently, there is a 42-day wait for appointments at the Phoenix VA clinic. This new clinic seeks to lift some of this pressure. In a recent press conference, Deputy Secretary of U.S. Veterans Affairs, Donald Remy, applauded people who work closely with veterans.
The good people here, the caring people here in Arizona know how to treat our veterans and know how to provide compassionate service to them.
There will be some new services at this clinic not available at other locations, with an emphasis on mental health. Such services include a full pharmacy, laboratory, and radiology. Veteran Travis Burns says the VA can only get better if it listens to veterans.
They need to meet them where they're at. We need to find out what their priorities are. They need to find out what drives them.
The medical center, with about 203,000 square feet of space, was a result of years of collaboration with the Phoenix community and veterans organizations.
So our veterans have absolutely been part of the solution for getting the word out, getting the excitement for the clinic, and I'm extremely excited to hopefully come here and get their care here.
The accomplishment of building a new state-of-the-art facility has led veterans like Gene Kregel to want to see more collaboration in the future.
Working with our veterans, having questionnaires, surveys, and see what can be added to help out.
Deputy Secretary Donald Remy spoke of an encounter he had with a veteran who described the VA as a family, and veterans say the care they receive is incredibly vital for them. In Phoenix, Julio Mora Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
VA officials hinted at additional projects to expand medical care for veterans.
The Navajo Nation Veterans Administration has been formally recognized by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. The Navajo Nation is now the first tribe accredited to help veterans submit federal benefit claims directly to the VA. The Navajo Nation president said this is important because many Navajo veterans have a hard time traveling to VA centers outside the tribal land. Staff members have reportedly taken in 83 claims since May of this year.
If you have an issue you would like to see on Arizona midterm ballots, the deadline for submissions is coming up fast. 11:59 p.m. tonight is the deadline for written pitches on election issues. State law allows for residents to put a 300-word argument into a pamphlet that will be sent to registered voters before the election. The arguments must pertain to one of the issues that will be on the ballot this fall. The actual number of issues on the ballot may change due to challenges in court or not meeting the signature requirement. Residents who want to submit an argument may do so online at ballotarguments.az.gov and must pay a $75 fee.
Today, Governor Doug Ducey signed a piece of historic legislation to secure the future of Arizona's water. The $1 billion investment in Arizona's water passed with bipartisan support. The bill allocates $200 million for conservation and another $200 million to address short-term goals like rainwater harvesting and converting flood irrigation into drip irrigation. Senate President Karen Fann says there are millions for long-term goals as well.
We have another $800 million to $1 billion that will go towards long-term projects, whether it be a desalination project, whether it would be bringing water in, but that's mostly for new water, to help us cover our future, to help us cover and recharge our aquifers.
This legislation also has money to improve the efficacy of existing water systems and increase renewable water supplies.
You won't be able to get a United flight out of Flagstaff soon. Officials at the Pulliam Airport say United plans to end flights at the end of October. Currently, flights run between Flagstaff and Denver. According to airport officials, United says it is having to cut some routes due to fuel prices and crew and aircraft shortages across the country. But they hope the flights can start back up sometime next year. Over Independence Day weekend, the Glendale Fire Department was on the job. And they had their work cut out for them fighting an unprecedented number of fires.
Behind the scenes of a museum to help people understand Latino culture.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just going to love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavour to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted, they need to be explored.
We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
The There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
Phoenix is helping one organization keep the streets cool. Phoenix Council member Yasmin Ansari awarded the organization Hugs for the Houseless nearly $9,000 out of her own budget to renovate a van into a mobile cooling center. The van belongs to Hugs founder Austin Davis, who said the idea came from talking to people who are unable to get to more well-established cooling centers. The van, which visits multiple encampments a day, has fans, misters, a shade canopy, folding chairs, as well as water and cold towels that they distribute.
If you were in Glendale Monday night, you may have heard fireworks, but you probably also heard sirens into the early Tuesday morning. Glendale fire crews fought a total of 8 fires on the 4th of July and the morning of the 5th. All of these fires were believed to be caused by fireworks. While there were no reported injuries, 8 fires is a large jump from 0 reported fires last 4th of July. The Phoenix Fire Department also reported multiple fires the evening of the 4th. The Glendale Fire Department Public Information Officer says that the causes ranged from improper disposal to flying sparks. Officials recommend soaking fireworks for 24 hours after use to prevent future fires. Let's check in with Connor at the Cronkite Weather Center to see if we'll be getting a little relief from the heat this weekend. Connor?
Happy hump day, everybody. I hope you've had a stupendous first half of your week, and I'm sure you've noticed it's been hot. Let's take a look at the next 3 days in our futurecast, and as you guys can see, there's not a whole lot going on over our great states. So what's this mean for the temperatures? Bad news, folks. It's going to get worse. 108 in Phoenix, 104 in Tucson. Even Sedona's going to be feeling that heat with 95 degrees. The only real place of relief is going to be in Flagstaff. Let's dive into the valley. As you guys can see, the valley temperatures are remaining pretty steady across as far as averages go. Suburbs like Chandler, Tempe, 106, Scottsdale, 106. Even if you go over to the west side, you're going to be at 107. Not that much hotter, but a little bit. Going into tonight, the evening planner, 103 right about now. We're going to be dropping into the 90s by 10 o'clock. Finally, let's take a look at the 8-day forecast. You remember when I said things are going to get worse? This is what I meant. Triple digits and the teens throughout the weekend. Good luck, folks. My recommendation is to take a heat day. Similar to a snow day for you Midwest Northeast folks, but Arizona style. Trade in the fireplace and hot cocoa for AC and lemonade and hunker down. In the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Connor Cox.
The Smithsonian Institution already operates museums for African Americans and American Indians. And a new museum that will recognize the history of American Latinos took its first steps towards opening this summer, as Daisy Gonzalez-Perez reports from our Washington bureau.
They may look like a pair of dusty shoes and a battered backpack, but the Smithsonian items are also the seeds for the future National Museum of the American Latino. The museum will help visitors understand how Latinos have contributed and continue to contribute to U.S. art, history, culture, and science.
We all recognize that our children need to see themselves in a gallery, and certainly we at American History agree that Latino history is American history, and we want to show that we've pretty much always have been here.
But the museum itself is still years and millions of dollars away. For now, it is represented by a National Museum of American History exhibit called Presente. The display, which opened in late June, is the first physical evidence of what will become the full museum. It includes the Reeboks, backpack, and an MP3 player left in the Sonoran Desert by a migrant.
These were found objects that were found in the Arizona desert. It tells a very difficult story, because we know of the many people who perished trying to cross the desert in Arizona who didn't make it.
Immigration is just one of the themes of Presente. It also looks at colonization, culture, and identity. For visitors like Michael Lopez of New York, it's about time.
I think that it is fantastic and it's overdue. I'm really happy that the United States is really recognizing the contributions that the Latinos have made within the United States.
The museum was first proposed 7 years ago, but a bill calling for the Smithsonian to establish it was not passed until December 2020. That just started the long process of finding a site, raising funds, and building a museum. But Diaz said the final product will be worth it.
Come in here and actually learn about our presence and our contributions. If they come away with a sense of that, then I think we will have achieved some success.
This particular exhibit will be here for the next 2 years, where themes will change throughout. The actual museum has plans to find a permanent home within the next 10 to 12 years. In Washington, Daisy Gonzalez-Perez, Cronkite News.
The National Museum of the American Latino is expected to cost $600 million or more, and half of that amount has to be raised privately.
Of your Cronkite Sports Report. Steph Curry may be an NBA superstar, but he's not stopping there. We'll give you a first-hand look at his all-expenses-paid junior golf tour.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge? You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery. Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted, they need to be explored.
We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, you're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity.
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Ian Sachs. Just one day after President Biden received Brittany Griner's letter with her plea for help, Biden called Griner's wife Sherelle on the phone. Biden, alongside Vice President Kamala Harris, called Sherelle in an effort to ensure Griner's family is well assisted during this time. According to the White House, Biden reassured Sherelle that he is, quote, working to secure Brittany's release as soon as possible. The White House expressed a sense of urgency in its public message today.
It is our goal to work with the family to see to it that we are doing everything we can to place their loved one in the most advantageous position to be released.
Stephen Curry just won his 4th NBA title, but he has bigger accomplishments coming on the golf course. Cronkite News reporter Lauren Green was at his junior golf tournament to show why it's so important.
Stephen Curry's second tour stop for his underrated golf tour teed off last week in Wickenburg Ranch. Curry created this all-expense-paid tour to provide a platform and feeder system for minority junior golfers to succeed and be recognized regardless of their race, gender, or class. The tournament consists of 30 boys and girls aging from 12 to 18 years old. Parents of these golfers are seeing the dream come to life from what Curry started.
He sees the opportunity as just underrated. I think that's so eloquent. It's really a testament to these kids who are often underrepresented.
Stephen Outlaw, the director of golf at Wickenburg Ranch and one of the spokespeople on the underrated tour panel at this tournament, is no stranger to the lack of inclusivity in golf. Outlaw and his former Georgetown College teammate were the first black men to play golf in the Mid-South Conference in the NAIA in 2003. For Outlaw, Curry's tournament hits close to home.
It kind of brings things full circle. I wasn't used to, in my early days, playing golf, seeing a person of color, right, in my position. It's great to be in this position to host this event, show the young men and women what's possible, and then to see what's possible.
These kids get to showcase their skills on a national stage and get recognition from anywhere. But most importantly, they get to play with kids who look just like them and build relationships that'll last a lifetime.
You don't usually see a lot of people that look like us playing this game, and to see that there are others here that are good and we know what we're doing, it's encouraging and inspiring to keep going.
While these kids are having fun competing and chasing the Curry Cup, awarded to the top golfer at the end of the tournament, they're also on the forefront of change in this new age of golf. From Wickenburg, Lauren Green, Cronkite News.
The next stop on the tour is Houston on July 17th, followed by Tampa. Then they finish up the tournament right in Curry's backyard in San Francisco in August. ASU's new head lacrosse coach, Taryn Van Thoff, was formally introduced as a Sun Devil today. Van Thoff was an assistant coach at Florida before coming to the Valley. Her hiring comes nearly a month after former Sun Devil head coach Tim McCormick left the program. Arizona State was a program best 11-8 last season and reached the Pac-12 title game for the first time. Van Thoff was not only looking to continue this success in Tempe, but aims to grow ASU's brand on the national landscape.
We're going to expand, and we're going to expand the community, and I think that's the biggest thing as we look at ASU and ASU lacrosse and Sun Devils lacrosse, is we want it to be not just here on the West Coast. It's going to be a national brand extending over and throughout.
And finally, the Suns Summer League team heads to Las Vegas this week with their Summer League coach Steve Scalzi leading the charge. With his background in player development, Scalzi is looking forward to representing the Valley with this squad.
Yeah, I find myself leaning on my player development background on that, and then leaning on each of our guys who are filling out the coaching staff. They have a development mindset as well. So we split up, the guys on the roster to be more or less assigned to a coach. It's not positional. It's all just right fit and personality and other things.
The Suns begin their 5-game Summer League stretch this Friday at 7 as they take on the Los Angeles Lakers in Vegas. That's all for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Ethan.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about an Arizona legislator and his most recent award, and how he's made his mark to get an award that hasn't been given out in 6 years.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge? You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just going to love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery. Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder.
Almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted. They need to be explored.
We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
An Arizona congressman is the latest recipient of the Wilderness Society's Ansel Adams Award. Congressman Raul Grijalva is the latest recipient. Grijalva is the chair of the House Natural Resources Committee and is being honored for his conservation efforts. Former recipients include President Jimmy Carter and Congressman John Lewis. This is the first time the award has been given since 2016.
That's it for Cronkite News Tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.